Hello and welcome to my video essay analysis on Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, the third in a series of movies preceding A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More, collectively known as the Dollars Trilogy. Within this video, I'll be dividing my analysis into two parts. In part 1, I'll provide some background information regarding the plot type and story, mise-en-scene/cinematography, sound design, lighting, and dimensions of editing. Following this, I'll enter part 2, where I'll focus on my sequence analysis and how these film aspects interact and affect the overall sequence. Beginning with plot type and story, Leone's The Good, the Bad and the Ugly seems to share traits crossing with many of Booker's 7 basic plot types. Links can be made to Voyage and Return, Overcoming the Monster, Rags to Riches, and at times, even comedy.
See you soon, idiots. It's for you.
However, while there is overlap between these plot types, the most prominent plot type that emerges is the quest. The quest can be divided into 5 areas that can be pinpointed throughout the movie, aligning the movie to this plot type. The 5 areas are: the call, where Blondie saves his own life by learning of a treasure; the journey, with Tuco and Blondie adventuring off together, each knowing half of the puzzle; arrival and frustration, where Blondie and Tuco arrive just short of their destination, having to cross a bridge fought over between the Union and the Confederates; the final ordeals, as the trio stand off in a winner-take-all situation; and finally the goal, in this case being money. Mise-en-scene is a French term meaning staging or putting into the scene or shot, and consists of all of the factors or elements placed in the frame in front of the camera to be photographed. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly contains all the mise-en-scene elements typical of a spaghetti western. It has the cigars, cannons, guns, hats, spurs, ponchos, horses, ruined buildings, and heavy shades of brown, all set within small towns, forts, or the larger, breathtaking landscapes of a Civil War-era America. These elements are accompanied by the over-the-shoulder shots and extreme close-ups with a shallow focus on a face or gun used to create tension. Opposingly, extreme long shots with a deep focus of an open landscape are used to create a sense of loss, freedom, or isolation. All shot in a 2.35 to 1 CinemaScope aspect ratio, typically coupled with the use of hard lighting causing hard shadows, making the scene seem tough, angular, and unflattering. Lighting is also an element of mise-en-scene and can be very important in establishing character. Take Angel Eyes for example. Angel Eyes is a character sporting dark and heavy shades and tones of black, who is repetitively filmed using low-key lighting. Low-key lighting is a lighting aesthetic with lots of shadows to create a sense of mystery or suspense. This style of lighting helps to establish Angel Eyes as the bad, compared to Blondie, who sports lighter shades and more neutral tones, who is typically filmed using high-key lighting. This style of lighting helps to establish Blondie more as the good. The contrasting lighting styles foreshadows a rivalry between the both of them. Within The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, sound design is used to effectively communicate with the audience. This is done through the use of dialogue, music, and sound effects in a variety of ways. For example, dialogue plays an important role in establishing that our characters, Blondie and Angel Eyes, are two sides to the same coin. It achieves this by demonstrating their level in terms of dialogue. Both speak slow, calm, clearly, and with intention behind their words.
Never seen so many men wasted so badly.
Maybe Baker would like to know just what you and Jackson had to say about the cash box.
Dialogue in this case pays close attention to Tuco, who speaks with an accent, expresses anger, speaks quickly with poor English skills, helping to establish him as the ugly.
Men, stand up! Come back! Come back and fight! You bastard!
Music is used communicating more the feeling and emotion of our characters within the scene, such as when Blondie finds a dying young soldier. Music can also be used to signal a beat within the story as well as introduce characters to a scene. Sound effects are used to create atmosphere specific to the scene's location and potential impact of the environment to our character, such as the rain of cannon fire and the marching footsteps. Finally, through the course of the movie we prominently see 3 different dimensions of editing, these dimensions being rhythmic, spatial, and temporal. These styles of editing are used to facilitate and communicate aspects of the story in a way that retains the attention of the audience. For example, within The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, rhythmic edits are used to slow the pace of a scene or sequence, adding real drama to a moment. Spatial edits are frequently used to show us where the shots are being fired. And temporal edits are used to progress the time within the story. With part 1 completed, I will now discuss how these film aspects affect my selected sequence. For my sequence analysis, I'll be focusing on both the build-up to and the final duel scene between Angel Eyes, Blondie and Tuco. This scene begins with Tuco betraying Blondie and going after the treasure alone before being quickly shut down. As Tuco rises to his feet, a beat is indicated by the pedestal shot and the introduction of music, the beat hinting at a transition out from Booker's arrival and frustration stage. We are moved into this stage with rhythmic editing. This increased pace of score accompanied by the high-angle tracking shots add real urgency to the scene. From here, the low-angle close-up into the zoomed panning shot introduces spatial editing to the sequence, showing us what Tuco is seeing. These styles continue until Tuco arrives at the believed goal. Here the characters are reintroduced to one another, marked by music and the use of low angle and over the shoulder shots. We are also reminded of our character's status through the use of dialogue and performance, as well as the shades and tones in their clothes. Most notably here, both Tuco and Blondie are wearing neutral tones, as opposed to Angel Eyes, who is wearing dark tones. As such, Angel Eyes contrast quite highly within this environment, reaffirming to the audience his portrayal as the bad, but also foreshadowing that he is perhaps unlike Tuco and Blondie and is out of his element. A beat is once again marked by the introduction of music that carries us into the next scene and into the final ordeal. Within the scene is the culmination of the editing, sound design, plot, themes, lighting and mise-en-scene all coming together to create all the elements of a spaghetti western movie. We've got the guns, hats, cigars, spurs, ponchos and heavy shades of brown, set on a civil war-torn graveyard juxtaposed by the vast surrounding landscape. But the real brilliance of this scene comes down to Ennio Morricone's score and the montage. This scene has 64 shots in a 2-minute window with 0 dialogue, and begins with the use of an irregular rhythm of music causing suspense, only to be resolved when the music settles into a regular rhythm, allowing the tension to build. This follows with the use of extreme wide shots as the characters get into place, promoting a stage for our characters to duel upon. The music continues and then abruptly breaks, revealing the diegetic sound effects of nature surrounding them. This, coupled with the lack of cannon fire and marching, create an unsettling atmosphere that reinforces isolation and anticipation as we wait for the music to begin again. The irregular rhythm begins once more, rebuilding the tension. The use of low-angle wide shots paired with the shallow depth close-up pulls in the focus to our characters, showing us they're ready for what's to come, and we should be as well. A beat is indicated by the progression in score coinciding with the increased pacing of the cuts and tighter framing. This, paired with the creeping of the hand to the gun, pushes the suspense to its climax. The suspense only broken when Blondie shoots first, defeating Angel Eyes. The cuts then return to normal, the music breaks, and only the diegetic sounds can be heard, adding real emphasis and drama to the overall climax of the movie. A beat is then indicated when Blondie walks over to the middle of the promenade and picks up the rock, progressing the plot out of the final ordeal and into the goal stage. For me, this is a quintessential spaghetti western scene and sequence, and by far my favourite of the movie. Thank you for listening.